In the old days, under Sir Alex Ferguson, United just used to go out and buy the best, whoever they wanted. Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney. They made sure that they got the very best. Definitely. Now United are shopping at clubs like, no disrespect, Bologna, Atlanta,
you're right.
Lecce. And this guy, Patrick Dorgu, he could turn out to be a great player.
But that's what they're working on.
But a couple of years ago, Lecce bought him for £150,000.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You said 160.
My vets team would have definitely bought him.
You know, the exchange rate is euros.
Yeah, exactly. Where are United at the moment? How far off are they, do you think?
The way it is now with the fair play rule, and you can't just go out and buy everybody in the market that they're in, or buying, really, as I say, heads or tails players that could be a major success or not. A bit like playing fantasy football. You know, you go and get your Haalands and your people like that who get your points, and then you've got to try and get the other players in who are either going to get you a load of points or they won't get you any points. And that's where Man United are. I think it's a long time. I do. I think it's a long time. And, you know, and it's a shame it is. This is a big football club. You know, I watched these, you know, from when I was growing up, and now I look at them and I think, how can you fall that quickly? I mean, honestly, it just scrambles my head that you can go from being the greatest club in the world to like an average football team, and you really have to blame, and I'm not blaming the managers really, and I'm not blaming the people upstairs, but I'm blaming the people that were put in charge of these transfers, because their transfers have not been a success. You know, you can name, you'd be lucky if you named them on your hand, would you? Like their successful signings. When you look at teams like Bournemouth and Brighton and teams like that who bring in superstars, you know, that, you know, so sometimes it's lazy. It's lazy for me, you know, buying Anthony from, you know, because he knew him, you know, Ten Hag, and you can't keep on buying players. You know that league's a different world to our league. You know, when you turn up in this league, when you're a winger, every single game you play in as a winger, you're playing against an international fullback. An international fullback. You're not doing that in Holland. You know, you're playing against players who are all right. But when you come into the Premier League, every player really who plays in the Premier League as a fullback is an international. And that's the problem we have. And I think it's been lazy and it's been poor transfer.
That's maybe why United are changing their approach now, because they've tried to get all this short-term success by throwing money at it, and they've ended up with this mishmash of a squad. Now we're talking about Dorgu. Do we know how good he is? But for some United fans, it's like finally they're looking at someone that we haven't really heard about. He's a young kid. Let's see what he can do. And looking ahead to the summer, they're already planning for the summer. They're looking at Giovanni Kenda, who's supposed to be a generational talent, 17 years old, admittedly. He's played for Sporting Lisbon. Amorim gave him his debut, so he knows exactly what he's about.
Same
so
thing,
they'll be
picking players he knows.
Yeah, it will. And they'll probably bring in the lad from Sporting if they can.
Gyokeres,
Gyokeres. And he knows him. And he needs to buy... With Amorim, it's a bit different, because he wants to play a certain way. He wants to play free at the back, and he wants to stick at that. He won't change. So he needs to bring in players that can play that system. So I do understand the lad from Sporting, and I think he'll want players around that understand.
I'm going to have to stop you.
But Marcus Rashford is available this window. His first choice is to move to Barcelona on loan, but Aston Villa are also interested in signing him. It's well documented, of course, Aston Villa have just sold John Duran. They're looking for more forward options for Unai Emery. Emery is a big fan of Marcus Rashford. Now, I'm not saying the deal is going to happen, but they are one of the clubs who are definitely interested in signing Rashford. And if a move to Barcelona doesn't come off, then I could see him potentially moving to Villa before the deadline on Monday.
Good move that, Clinton?
Yeah, I like it. I think Villa need him. You look at, they've got a few injuries in them wide areas, and I think it's a really good sign. Marlon, so they bought him, done Marlon, and he's a good signing. But I think Rashford on that left-hand side, yeah, and I think Unai Emery improves players. I think the job he's done once he's gone to Aston Villa has been fantastic. So for me, that fits. If he doesn't get his move away in Europe or to Barcelona, then Aston Villa suits him down to the ground.
What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, if it's the Marcus Rashford that we, you know, if Villa go and get the Marcus Rashford that was on the scoring goals the other year, amazing. But if they get the Marcus Rashford now, who can't get in front of a 63-year-old goalkeeping coach, and then it ain't
You
a
love
good
that,
move.
don't you?
Well,
You love that
is it? I
line.
mean, I'm a big fan of Rashford.
Tongue in cheek, mate.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be. I mean, if I'm the owner of the club and my manager's saying that tongue in cheek, I'm thinking, how am I going to get rid of this player? You want to get rid of him. But yeah, I mean, lovely, massive pitch. You know, he can move Rashford. It could be a good move. He'd be playing in front of